Hey guys, okay, this is my backpacking trip, Misery Bay experience, and this experience is a spiritual experience. I don't know how to explain it. It was all, I saw everything from spirit, and that's the way it is. Now, when I have, it's all about UFOs, ETs, and aliens. All my experiences, 90% of them are spiritual. But the UFOs there over the let's say this, I have an ET contact. The ET leaves the ship, goes to my face in spirit. Okay, not physical. I see him in spirit. I'm reacting in spirit. My head's ringing in spirit. It's all spiritual. Then the ET goes back in the craft, which is over my house, which is cloaked, and it leaves. The black helicopters show up. The black ops show up. That's the experience, okay? For me. I don't know about anything else. That's what happens for me. The same thing happened on Misery Bay on my backpacking trip. Alright? Just want to throw this out there now. That it's 90% is spiritual for me. I only saw him physically once, standing in my room, and that could have been spiritual because I was young and I didn't know any better. So that could have been spiritual too. I'm just saying. I don't want to piss in anyone's Cheerios or preconceptions of what's going on. But this is my experience. Take it or leave it. Whatever. I know people don't like spiritual things because they didn't get video. I get photographs. I get video. I have hundreds of friends that have seen the giant red spaceship full of aliens, and they all saw it. Same thing. They're in the physical world where you can see them, take photographs, and then they click a button and they're gone. They're cloaked. The aliens can come down and see you spiritually. A lot better and a lot easier than physically. My race that I deal with, that's what they do. Sorry if you don't like it. It's the way it is, man. You have to deal with it. So, I'm on Misery Bay. I got done my my last ET encounter where they came and saw me on the beach. I was too afraid to go out and see them. That was over with. A few more days go by, and I'm hiking. I reach Misery Bay. And to me, it's just another bay. I didn't even know the name of it until I looked it up that night on my map. Because I had a map I was carrying. I didn't know the name. One bay is another bay. Each bay is like a mile, a kilometer. So you got to go in a kilometer and walk. And so I get to this bay called Misery Bay. And I put a whole bunch of Google stuff and maps and pictures and stuff in here. Just, so you can see it. Beautiful. Beautiful. It was beautiful. And I thought, well, later, why is it called Misery Bay? Right? I don't know. So I'm walking in the bay, and I'm walking in to the bay on the north side, and up in the trees I can hear people arguing, a man and a woman screaming at each other, and they're fighting, and they're screaming about something in the States. So I assumed they're from the States visiting, And I thought it was a cabin or a cottage or a house. And then I could see a little bit of the house because there was trees. There was evergreen trees or cedar trees in front of the house. And I could see the steps going up, but I could see the door and some windows, but it was still covered by trees. So I only got pieces. And I could hear people screaming and yelling at each other. And I thought to myself, I go, yeah, come to a place like this just to yell at each other. I go, wow, you people got it together. And so I kept on walking. And then I get to where the bay turns, and it's all sand, right? It's all sand. And as I'm walking, I can see turtle tracks leading from the water on the beach. It's coming from the water. Turtle tracks going into the swampland, but they had to traverse and it was a long sandy beach, flat sandy beach, and they were walking. And I saw one turtle, he was dead, and he had his head picked off or his legs gone or something, and he was walking from the water to the sandy beach, but the seagulls got him, or the buzzards, something got him, and they ate his legs and his head and left the rest of him to rot, right? And I'm like, wow, this is awesome. So I grabbed the dead one, and I kept it. I put it in my backpack, and the little zipper thing on top, I put it in there, and it stunk to high hell. Why did it stink? And anyway, the reason I took it was I wanted to make a rattle, like a Native American rattle, but I didn't know how to do it. But I needed the shell because that's what I wanted to do. And so I figured, well, and I knew what kind of turtle it was. It was a Blanding's turtle, which is rare, almost extinct in Ontario, and the Blanding's turtle. And then I saw another turtle coming from the water, and he's heading up the beach, and then I could see the seagulls diving at him. And this is while I was picking up the dead one and everything. And so I ran over there and I went in the water and I grabbed the other Blanding's turtle and I carried him from the water to the marsh where the tall grass was and the marsh and that. And I put him in there because that's where he's headed. And so I put him in there and hopefully I saved him. So anyway, and then all of a sudden I see, as I'm walking along the bay, the inner bay, where the sand is, I see big footprints and little footprints in their shoes, running shoes, and not Sasquatch, unfortunately. And I can tell that Dad and a kid were walking on the beach earlier in the day, in the morning. So it's like 10 o'clock now, 10 a.m. So they must have been out there walking right before, and they led out and they came back. So they basically walked to the point on the other side of the bay and then came back to the house where they're yelling now. And so I'm like, oh, well, whatever. And then and it's isolated. There's just that one cabin that's there. And I'm coming across the bay, which is like a quarter mile. It's a big ass bay. And it's hard to walk with 100 pounds, 150 pounds on your backpack with hiking boots in sand. So I tried to stay to the wet sand, it's easier to walk. But my legs are killing me. I'm sweating my ass off, trying to save turtles. And I start coming out of the bay. And as I turn and start coming out of the bay, I could feel something staring at me from the swamp on the south side of the bay. Well, as I was coming across, there's all swamp back here. And it turns like this. I'm going to put a little picture on here for you. Anyways, I was leaving the bay, the sandy part. I could feel something staring at me from the swamp area. And I stopped and I looked. I know when fucking people are staring at me, right? I didn't feel nothing from the cabin. I just heard it yelling. But here, I'm looking into the swamp where they're staring at me. And I don't see nothing. There's no house. There's nothing. Just swamp for a long while. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell it is. I'm thinking Bigfoot, bear. But it wasn't. It was different. It was thinking about me like a human. And I couldn't figure it out. So I thought, I just get the hell out of here. So I start walking. I'm cutting through, just starting to turn. And as I'm just starting to come out on the south side, I could feel the thing. It's getting more intense staring at me. It's hitting my back. I can feel the intense hitting my back of it staring at me. And all of a sudden, as I'm walking, I'm feeling it. I ain't thinking, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to acknowledge it. But I am. And all of a sudden, it raises up in the air like this. From behind me, goes up in the air, and then it comes right over top of my head. and there's like 3 people staring at me, and they're all worried and they're all intellectual, thinking about me. What's this mean? What's this mean? What's this mean? That sort of thing. They're checking me out. Like, what's going on here? And as it came up over my head, the 3 people left. The feeling of the 3 people, or whatever, was staring at me in the swamp. The feeling rose up over top of me, flew up behind me over my head. And now they're staring at me from above. I've had 100 experiences just like this with my ETs. And I knew it. As soon as it flew over my head, I knew what the fuck it was. It was a spacecraft with ETs in it. And I knew it. I don't give a fuck. I will bet every drop of blood on my goddamn body. I will bet it. Anybody. I know it was fucking ETs and a UFO. I look up, I didn't see nothing. I keep on walking, and I'm burnt, I'm tired, I'm sweating. Like a quarter mile across the hot sand with 150 pounds on your back. Your feet are sinking up to the ankles, and each step is you slide back. Brutal. I'm dying, my heart's pounding, and all of a sudden, this thing comes over my head, and all of a sudden, I stop. No, I didn't stop. I'm sorry, I keep walking, and I'm trying to get to the rock, the flat rock on the other side, but I still got a ways to go. And as I'm walking, all of a sudden I feel this swirl of energy around me, and it was just like, and I started getting tingles. As the swirls got faster and faster around me, I started getting tingles. And I'm like, and I'm looking up, and I don't, there's nothing there. There's just blue sky. Spiritually, I look up, and there's a craft above me with 3 grays in it. 3 gray ETs in the craft, and they're staring at me. I trust what I see spiritually. That's how I gotta live. With demons, spirits, Christ, all of them. This is how I see with my spirit. I've had enough encounters with ETs and seeing them with my spirit face to face with a craft outside that's real and people see it while I'm being abducted. My sister, my brother, my mom, my friends, my cousins, all of them. All this is real. Sorry to tell you. The things over my head, the energy spinning around, all of a sudden a voice inside me screams, if you ever wanted to know what it's like to be abducted, you're about to find out. And that's what it said. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I knew the energy thing was getting ready to beam me up or some shit. Or whatever they were going to do to me. And I didn't know until I started panicking. I stopped. I just stopped. I don't know why I stopped. I just stopped walking. I'm standing there, just like this, staring at the sand. And I didn't know what to do. I'm panicking. And this thing, I could feel the energy going, getting faster and faster and faster, and I could feel my head's tingling, and they're gonna do something with me, and I don't know what, and I'm fucking freaking. And I knew this isn't my boys, this isn't my ETs that I met and saw the craft a week earlier with my cousin. I knew this wasn't them. My guys feel totally different. These guys were just cold thinkers. There was no spark, there's no soul, there's no nothing like that. There's no joy. And these guys were just thinkers, like scientists with nothing. Just big heads. And I knew it wasn't my guys. And the craft looked different too. And spiritually. All of a sudden, I'm standing there, I'm like, what do I do? And I asked myself, what do I do? And my soul then screams back in my head, let me out now! Like that. He just screamed right in my head. My whole fucking head echoed, let me out now! Which means open my heart and project my spark. So that's what I did. I'm standing there and I just checked out. Instant meditation. I just went boom, total lead. And I opened my heart and I projected my inner light, spark. It's more like a spark than a light. I guess it's both one and the same. I projected it out. all of a sudden, as I projected my heart, my soul out, I whooshed right up to my guy, my ETs, which were out. I don't even know where the fuck they were. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing my ET. I'm right in his face. And my inner light, Mom, the creator, knows my ETs. They've been with me all my whole life. Just like my mom. Same fucking thing. My inner light hooked up to the ET and said, "We need help now." Actually said, "Need help now." That's what my soul said. "Need help now." And then I'm hooked up, and all of a sudden, I'm back in my body. The wind, the swirling is getting worse. And I'm like, oh fuck, I'm shaking. I'm getting ready to freak out. I dropped to my knees because I can't carry the pack anymore. So I dropped to my knees and I'm just sitting there and I undo my pack. Because I don't want my back anymore. I just pop the pack. And all of a sudden, and I'm freaking out, the wind, I'm looking at them, and all of a sudden, I see, spiritually, the ETs that contact me all the time, they're right there beside me. They're right there. I don't know the exchange they had, but my inner light was hooking up to my ETs. And I totally connected with my ETs. Just then, instantly, the swirling stopped around me. The swirling of energy stopped. And that craft that was there totally disappeared, mostly disappeared from my spirit vision of them, my spirit sight of them. And it started backing off and went back to where it came. I think it left, actually. Then my craft was there. I didn't talk to them. I didn't do nothing. I take care of my shit down here. So I'm like, oh, thank God, it's over. It's over. I just felt it was over. And so I put my pack on and started walking. All of a sudden, my guys disappeared from my spirit sight. I couldn't see them anymore. And I started walking my ass out of this fucking Misery Bay. I didn't know it was called Misery Bay. As I was walking, I got out. I finally got out of the bay and made it around and started continuing my backpack trip. And I'm like, all of a sudden I stopped. And I'm like, did that just fucking happen? Did that happen? Was I losing my fucking mind back there? Heat exhaustion, whatever. And I go, did you see a UFO last week? Oh yeah. And he goes, with your friends? I go, yeah. Well, you shut the fuck up. It's my spirit. And he goes, you're about to be abducted. I saved your ass with my ETs. That's what my spirit's saying to me, right? I'm like, cool. But you catch yourself because you're back in reality. One minute you're in their world, the ET world, and all of a sudden they're gone. You're back hiking again. You're like, what the fuck? What happened there? So that's what I told myself. Okay, tell me what happened. Tell me why this happened. What the fuck? Why were the Greys there? The Grey ETs. Why were they doing that to me? Okay, why were they doing that? Why were they there? Why did that happen? Why did this whole fucking scenario happen? Did I walk into something? So I asked my spirit to give me a download, which is an information bomb from whatever. So later that day, I'm doing something, and all of a sudden I thought of that experience I just had. And I go, oh, well, I got an information bomb. And basically, all it is, an information bomb, is Mom, God, gives you all the knowledge all at once of an experience you had. Who, what, when, where, why. All of it, boom, in your head. This is what the information bomb was. I was sitting around a campfire having coffee. I got the information bomb. I think I was having coffee. I might have been doing something else. But anyway, these people were up at this cottage. And these people were fighting and arguing because they're isolated, more or less, and they're alone in the house. Well, and they're Americans. I feel it. Anyway, I stopped, and the ETs were over there, parked, studying these isolated people in this cabin, and they were messing with them. And that's why, and if you have ET contacts, you lose it, and you fight with your partner. I fight with my mom, my brother, my sister, and it's a different kind of fight. It's a fight you don't even know what you're fighting about, but everybody pisses you off. These people were in there fucking having a vicious mouth war. It's fucking swearing and everything. And I'm like, please don't shoot each other when I was walking by. They were in there fighting. The reason they were fighting was the after effects of the ET abduction or contact or the Greys messing with them spiritually, physically. I don't know. Maybe they were getting abducted. I was about to get abducted from what my fucking soul said. So these people, I realized, were having after effects, just like I used to have from my ETs before I opened my heart. Okay? But the Greys are a different species, race thing than my ETs. Okay? And I'm like, holy shit. And that's the after effects. These people were fighting from the after effects of ET contacts. And when I was stupid rich, backpacking, not stupid, you know, I'm backpacking, and all of a sudden I stumble across the ETs that were abducting these people. The ETs were still there studying the people in the cabin they were abducting or messing with, and I stumbled across their little experiment. Maybe because I felt them and started hooking up to them ETs, they got interested and told, maybe we got another victim here, right? We can screw with this guy. That's what I think was going on. They started abducting me, but they didn't know I knew my ETs, and I hook up to my ETs whenever the fuck I want, and I did. That's what my soul did. I didn't do it. My soul was telling me what to do, because I was fucking freaking scared, burnt out, tired, sweating my balls off, exhausted from walking. My soul said, let me out. I'll take care of it. Just let me out. And I did. And I know what that meant, because I've had it in other experiences with street gangs and shit. I let my soul out, and he takes care of the whole fucking thing. Not saying it works perfectly, but it works. Especially with the ETs. So, my ETs came and said, leave him the fuck alone, or we're going to blast your ass back into fucking Andromeda Galaxy, or wherever the fuck you came from. Basically, that's what happened. He's with us. Back off. The Greys left, and I left. And that's what it was. I stumbled into an E.T. Grey experiment going on. The E.T. Greys were harassing these people at night, abducting them, doing the spiritual psycho shit on them. They were fighting because it made no sense. You're in fucking paradise. I mean, the water is crystal clear blue, beautiful flowers, nature, trees, silence, loons, everything a fucking man could want. Just beautiful. And these people are fucking killing each other, mouth warring in the cabin. It made no sense to me until after, and I knew exactly why they were fighting, because they were being messed with the Greys. When the Greys come and they mess with you, and it's tinker, 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 right in your fucking head. People that don't know anything spiritual just lose their shit for days until it goes away, and then tinker, tinker, tinker starts all again. Well, these people are up in a cabin, isolated. The ETs are just sitting there saying, we got a great Petri dish right here. We can do whatever the fuck we want. No one's going to know. We can press their buttons here, watch their reaction. Press their buttons here, watch their reaction. Abduct them in the middle of the night, watch their reaction. The people go nuts fighting in the house. I stumbled into that. The ETs went, holy shit, what's going on with this guy? They flew over my head. I felt the swirling. If I was going to get abducted, I'll never know, because it didn't happen. Thank God. I hooked up to my ETs. They came and they stopped it. Now, that's how it works, guys. For me, anyway. I'm just saying, this is my experience. And the worst part is, I really don't like it, but I saw nothing physical for ETs and craft. Not a goddamn thing. That all happened in the spirit realm. That's how it works. You feel like you're being stared at from the sky? That's what's happening. There's ETs in a cloaked craft staring at you, and you're feeling their spirit. How many contacts have you had? How many times have you watched videos on YouTube where the experiencer saying, I saw the light in the sky and I felt like I was being stared at. I don't understand. It's because the ETs are hooking up to your spirit. Their spirit, their inner light, their soul, whatever it may be, is hooking up to your inner light, your soul. Go on YouTube and start looking. People's experiences. It felt like they were staring at me. I felt like the UFO was staring at me. Like it knew everything. Like it was talking to me. Because it's your fucking soul, man. You do it with everybody on the earth. You do it with your mom, your dead relatives, everybody. You think ETs can't fucking do that? It's just only 100 times more intense. Because they're more powerful, spiritually, more evolved. And you feel them a hell of a lot worse. Oh, wait till they come down your face and pull you out of your fucking head. Pull your spirit out of your fucking head. Or you think that's what happened to me. 100 fucking times while I was growing up. That's why I could do all this shit. It's because I just had to learn, man. And they were making me learn. And it wasn't bad. They were just teaching me. But I saw it as bad in my ego. So that is what happens in ET contact. Now, if I would have saw the ship, that's a different thing. They want you to see them. If I would have saw the ship, and I have, this has happened to me, where I saw the ship, light in the sky, staring at me. The next day, nothing in the sky, staring at me. I'm having all the same physiological, psychological effects, spiritual effects. But one time there's nothing there, and the next time there is something there. The next day, the same thing happened. Why is that? They're teaching me. They're letting me know. Just because you don't fucking see it doesn't mean it ain't real. And that was backpacking Misery Bay. Alright guys, gotta go. That is how it works, man. That's how it works. Sorry if you don't, all you coast to coast AM researchers out there speculating, contemplating, hallucinating. That's how it works. What I just gave you.